Hello, everyone. Welcome to our everyday math lesson for Unit 7. This is our study guide. So our math test is coming up, and so I wanted to take the Unit 7 study guide, and I'm actually going to break it into 2 days. So we are going to do half of the study guide now, and you will do half of the study guide in another video. We are going to go through the questions. We're going to take notes. And this is what I want you to remember. The better notes you take now, the better you can do practicing, which means the better you're going to do on your test. Okay? So what I need for you to do right now, I have attached this to the lesson, so if you need a copy of this, please print it out. If you don't have access to a printer, get a notebook. Right beside me on my desk here, I actually have a notebook that I'm going to be using sometimes for my own notes. Okay, so what I do is I just jot little things down on here. So please do that, because guess what? When you're taking your test, you can't use your notes. You can't use your study guide, but this is going to help you study for it. Okay? So please make sure that you are prepared before you watch the rest of this video. So I am going to pause right now. I am going to add it in there, especially if I'm using this in Edpuzzle. I'm going to pause the video so you can have everything that you need ready before we get started. Okay, so here we go. Number 1, it says, solve and show your work. So when we do problems like this, remember that there are 2 ways we can do problems like this. So we can do area model. I am going to do one problem area model. We can also rename as improper fractions. I'm going to do one problem with renaming it with improper fractions. I'm going to show you both ways. On your test, I don't care which way you choose. Find the one that works easiest for you, right? Okay, here we go. On number 1, I'm going to use area model. So I'm going to draw my rectangle. 3, that is a whole number. This number is going to be 4 5/9. Okay. So in this box, I'm going to do 3 times 4 equals 12. In this box, it's going to be 3 over 1 times 5 over 9, which equals 15/9. Okay, sorry, my phone rang. So this is area model. So 15 divided by 9, I don't like that because it is an improper fraction. What do I need to do to the improper fraction in order to make it into a mixed number? Divide. 15 divided by 9. I know 15 divided by 9 is 1. 6 left over, right? Yep. So my answer will be 1 6/9. Now, remember with area model, I have to take this answer and this answer and add them together. So 12 plus 1 is 13 6/9. That should be your answer for your first question. Awesome. For number 2, I'm going to rename them as improper fractions. Remember, when I do this, I use the MAD method. I multiply denominator times my whole number, going this way. I add my answer plus my numerator, and my denominator stays the same. That's what it stands for. So 2 3/4, multiply, 2 times 4. Add 3. My denominator stays the same. 11/4. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 3 is 11. All right, I want you to figure out what improper fraction would we use for 5 8/9. 9 times 5 is 45, plus 8 is 50, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53. 53. And my denominator stays the same. All right, now it's time to multiply straight across. Here we go. 9 times 4 is 36. 53 times 11. Okay, 53 times 11. 53. X's and O's. 53. Add them up. Here we go. 583 over 36. Okay, so this is technically, yes, it is my final answer-ish, but I don't like it. Why? Yes, if you said because it's an improper fraction, you are correct. All right, in order to solve this problem, I am going to divide. So I need a little bit more room, so I'm going to go to the back of my paper. 583 divided by 36. Now, my first thing that I do when I do dividing with whole numbers with large numbers is I find my multiples. So I'm going to start off to the side and I'm going to write 36 because that's 36 times 1, right? 36 times 2. I'm going to add another 36. 72. 36 times 3. 108. 36 times 4. 14, 40, 144. And I think that should be about what we need almost. We're almost there. I'm going to do one more. 36 times 5. Let's see. 8, 180. 36 times 6. 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 216. All right, here we go. Now that I have my multiples, my division should be easy. 36 goes into 5 0 times. It doesn't go into 5 at all. 36 goes into 58. Well, not 2 times. It only goes in there once. And subtract. 8 minus 6 is 2. 5 minus 3 is 2. Bring it on down. 36 goes into 223 how many times? Well, I can't add another 30 there. It's not enough. So I know it's going to go in there 6 times. 6 times 36 is 216. Subtract it. Let's go. 3 minus 6. You can't do it. 13 minus 6 is 7. So your answer should have been 16 and 7 over 36. 16 and 7 over 36. Does that make sense how I did that question? Okay. Explain the strategy used to solve problem 2 and explain why you chose it. What strategy did I use for problem 2? I renamed as improper fractions. So the first thing it says, explain the strategy you used and why. I renamed the mixed numbers as improper fractions. And then multiplied straight across. That is the first part of my question. Pause here. Write that down. The second part of this question says, explain why you chose that strategy. I chose this way because it has fewer steps. Has fewer steps. Done. Done. All right. I want you again. Pause the video, write that down. Okay. One of the things that you're going to be doing for this next question is writing a story problem. When it says a number story, that means writing a story problem. We need to write it using the numbers used in number 1. So this is my numbers for number 1. I'm multiplying. I know that when I multiply two numbers together, I can use area for that. Because I know area equals length times width. That would be an easy one to use. Maybe I use 3 different cups with 4 5/9 ounces. That's okay too. Whatever story model or number story you use, it has to make sense. Okay? So I'm going to do an area one. I have a rug that is 3 feet long and 4 5/9 feet wide. What is the area of the rug? Make sure that you have a question with an actual question mark as well. Done. On your test, you're going to have something very similar. Here's a hint. If it's multiplying, just change the numbers. Instead of saying it's a rug, maybe you say that it's a piece of paper and it's inches. Maybe it's a desk that's 3 feet by 4 5/9. Okay. Find a story problem that works for this number model. You may write mine down, or you may make one of your own. Okay. Now we're going to do the last question on the first page. This is number 5. I'm going to use my yellow. I think you can see it. If not, I'll change it to a different color. It says, actually, I'll use a different color. Drew's class created a mural in the hallway. A mural is a fancy word for a painting. Okay. They created a mural in the hallway. The space that they used for the mural is shown below. What is the area for the mural? Guys, area. You multiply, right? So on this one, I'm going to have you go ahead and do the math on your own, and we will check to see if you're right. You are going to multiply 3 7/8 times 1 3/4. I want you to use one of the methods we used in number 1 and 2. Make sure that you do all steps and find your final answer. What is 3 7/8 times 1 3/4? All right, guys, you should have your answer by now. Hopefully you did the math, and we're going to check to see if you're correct. I am going to use area model for this one just because I think with this specific picture, it might be a little easier, and I want to show you with a larger number. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to separate it. 1 3/4. 3 7/8. I am going to do it the other way in just a moment, so I will show you that way as well, but we're going to start with this way first. 1 times 3 is 3. That's easy. 1 times 7/8 is 7/8. Super easy. All right, 3/4 times 3/1 equals 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 1 is 4, so 9/4. And then finally 3/4 times 7/8. 3 times 1 is 20. I'm sorry, 3 times 7 is 21. 4 times 8 is 32. All right. Now is the tricky part. I have to take all of these numbers and add them together. So 7/8, 9/4, 21/32, and 3 wholes. I'm going to keep that 3 just off to the side for now. I don't need to do anything with that number with the denominator, so I'm just going to leave it for now, and I will add it at the end. Okay? Remember, before I can add these together, I have to find a common denominator. And I know that 8 and 4 go into 32 equally. Right? So I'm going to multiply this by 4. And whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. So 28/32. I'm going to multiply this one by 8. And whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. 72/32. And then 21/32. Here we go. I need to add 21/32. Now let's add them up. 8, 9, 10, 11. Carry my 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 121/32. Now I got to divide. 121/32. I know that 32 times 3 is 96. So that's close. 32 times 4 is 128. So that's going to be too much. So we're going to do times 3. 121 minus 96. Okay, 1 minus 6 I can't do. 11 minus 6 is 5. 1 minus 9 I can't do. 11 minus 9 is 2. So my answer is 3 and 25/32 plus 3 equals 6 and 25/30. Whew. If you got that answer, awesome. If this is your final answer, great. That's what it should be. If you're like, I did it the other way and I want to check my work because I got it wrong. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Here we go. 3 7/8. 1 3/4. Let's make them into improper fractions first. Perfect. 3 times 8. 24. Plus 7 is 31/8. 1 times 4. 4. Plus 3 is 7/4. Now let's multiply. 31 times 7. 7, 21, 217/32. And you're like, wait, Miss Gilman, that's wrong. It's not. Because remember, we use that 3 still in here, okay? Now let's do our division. 32, 64, 96, 128, 160. Let me make sure because I wrote it down. And that's not. 26. Yeah, just a second. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. It's not 60. Yeah. 160. 192, I believe. And then 224. Or 234. 234. Lord help me, 224. All right, so this is times 1, times 2, times 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, my number is 217. $32 goes into 217. Can't go in there 7 times. It's got to go in there 6 times. Subtract. What do we get? Well, 7 minus 2. 1 minus 9 you can't do. You got to borrow. 11 minus 9. So my final answer is 6 and 25 over 32. Look at what I did and tell me how you think you did. All right, so if you weren't correct, that is okay. As long as you can find your mistake and find where you went wrong, that's what I look for, right? All right, so now we're going to go to the next page. So this is the last page of this study guide. I know it is a longer video, and that is okay. Guys, we got to do the best things that we can, okay? So for these next 2 questions, notice what the directions say. It says very specifically to use the common denominators for these 2 questions. Okay? Now, I know that me personally, I hate this problem. I don't like using common denominator method. It's not my favorite. But I do think that it is good to know how to do because it can be easier sometimes. Okay? The good thing is with these 2 problems, you do have to be able to check your work. These 2 little checks, you can use keep, change, flip to see if you're right. Okay? So let's start with number 6. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my 8 over 1. Now, my common denominator, I have a 1 and I have a 2. So my common denominator is going to be 2. So 16 over 2 divided by 1 over 2 equals what? Remember, after you have your common denominator, just divide the top numbers. So what is 16 divided by 1? 16. Awesome. Awesome. So now we're going to do our keep, change, flip to check it. So keep, change, flip. 8 times 2 is 16. So I could do 8 times 2 over 1 equals 16. That is a good way to check it. Okay. Here we go. 1/7 divided by 2. Okay. Have to find a common denominator. I'm going to use a different color for this one. Here we go. My common denominator with a 7 and a 1 would be 7. Okay. Multiply by 7. Whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. So 1/7 divided by 14/7 equals what? What is 1/7 divided by 14/7? Your answer should be 1 over 14. See how easy that is? This divided by this. It makes it into a fraction for you. Now let's do keep, change, flip to check our work. Keep 1/7. Change. Flip. Instead of 2 over 1, it's now 1 over 2. What is 1 times 1? What is 2 times 7? Boom. Done. Awesome, awesome job. All right. Use the quadrilateral hierarchy poster to help you solve problems 8 and 9. So first of all, I'm going to look at the poster. So when you take your test, I'm actually going to have the poster listed as a resource for that question. So you can look at it and you could use it to help you. Okay, so I'm going to pull that up really quickly. Okay, so looking at this poster, the picture on my study guide was this picture right here. Okay. The picture on my study guide was this picture right here. It was this rectangle. So right now I know one name for it, right? Remember, if I can go up, and I'm still going to use my pen. If I can go up through the arrow, that is also a name for it. So a rectangle is also a parallelogram. It is also a trapezoid. And it is also a quadrilateral. So that's what I'm going to put on my page. List as many names for this figure as you can. We said it's a rectangle. We said it is a quadrilateral. I'm going to go back here so you can see it. A parallelogram and a trapezoid. Okay. That's what it means. On your test, it's going to be a different shape. Okay? On your test, it's going to be a different shape. So my suggestion, take a little bit of time and really look at this chart. Get to know it. Okay? Follow the lines down. If my shape looks like this right here, if this is my shape, I'm going to follow the lines going down from the top. It is always a quadrilateral. Absolutely. Now I'm going to follow the arrow. That's not the way that I went. I went this way, right? So let's see. Oh, it is also a kite. It is also a rhombus. Oh, it also has right angles. So if it has right angles, guess what? It's also a square. Okay? So keep that in mind. Use this chart to help you. Let's try another one. What if my shape was, this one right here? That one right there. What other names could this shape be called? What other names could I call this shape? Okay, let's see. Well, we know it's a quadrilateral because it's a four-sided figure. I can follow the arrows this way, so it's also a trapezoid and a parallelogram. Awesome. Let's try one more. Let's do red this time. What if this was my shape? What other names could this be? This is a rhombus, absolutely. But look at where my arrows go. I can go this way to parallelogram, or to a kite, to trapezoid, and to quadrilateral. So if it is a rhombus, it is also these four. Okay? Make sure you practice using this chart. We're going to use this quite a bit during our lessons to practice until we get caught up, until we go to the test. Okay, guys? Remember, use this to help you. Do I think that you should memorize this? No. You can use it on your test, I said. All right. The next question on our study guide. Perry thought, well, this has four sides, so it's a quadrilateral. It has parallel sides, so it's a parallelogram. All of its sides are equal length, so it's a rhombus. Okay, so he said quadrilateral, parallelogram, rhombus. Okay, let's see. Quadrilateral, parallelogram, rhombus. Can we go anywhere else with this shape? 4 sides are equal. 2 sets of parallel sides, and it's a quadrilateral. Can this be anything else? Well, yes. It is also a square. I can tell that because this is a right angle. Now, does it have the symbol for a right angle? No, but I can tell by this picture that it is. Okay. So yes, it is a square. It also has 4 right angles. All right. So quadrilateral, parallelogram, rhombus. Okay, let's see my picture again. Quadrilateral, parallelogram, rhombus. Could it also go to rectangles? Can this also technically be classified a rectangle? Well, yeah, it can. Because for a rectangle, it has to have all of these properties and 4 right angles. Look right here, guys. You see it? There's a square. You're going to have questions very similar to this. They're going to give you a shape that might look like a square, and it says, can you put it anywhere else? They might give you a shape that looks like this and say, oh, it's a quadrilateral and a kite. Can it also be a rhombus? Well, is it a parallelogram? Yes. 4 equal side lengths? Yes. It is a kite? Yes. So yeah, it could also be a rhombus. When we get to this question on the test, really pay attention to the directions that I give you when I read it aloud to you. Okay? Now let's look at your study guide page. Can Perry move the figure down to the rectangle category? Why or not? Why not? Yes. Notice my first question is yes. It says, can he? Now I need to answer why or why not. Yes. Because it has all of the, oh wait, hang on, I'm going to show you something. Look right here. All of the properties, parallelograms, plus 4 right angles. Okay. All of the properties of a parallelogram plus 4 right angles. Notice that I got my reasoning right from the paper. Notice that on this one, I gave you 2 parts of the answer as well. I said yes or no, and I said why. When you're taking your test, you need to make sure that you're answering all parts of the question. All right. Now you get my beautiful big face for, well, my big face for a minute. This is what I want you to know. We just did 1/2 of your study guide. It was a lot of information. The trickiest part of this study guide and of this test is when you multiply the mixed numbers. So you need to find a way that works for you, and you need to make sure you do it perfect. The rest of it, I think, is pretty easy as long as you use the tools that we've given you. Okay? Have a great rest of your day today. Tomorrow, we're going to do more of the study guide. I'm splitting it up because it is long and a lot of information. Okay? Have a great day, and I will see you later. By the way, on your assignment today, on your Google Slides, there's going to be a question of the day. And your question of the day is going to ask you what my favorite kind of ice cream is. And you're going to need to know it is mint chocolate chip. That's how I know you watched the video. All right. Have a great day, guys. Bye.